pass on to Telespazio again, who are going to tell you about how you can order data, commercial data, directly from the hub itself. Alastair, is this you?
I'll do the intro, but then yeah, it'll be Alex Hayward who's
Okay,
sharing his screen
cool.
and working
Nice.
through a notebook. So yeah, Alex, if you can get that up, and then whilst Alex is doing that in the background, I'll just kind of intro the session here. So this kind of starts quite a notebook heavy part of the workshop today. So it's for people who are mainly familiar with using notebooks previously. It basically provides a way to access the hub functionality programmatically. So what we'll be showing you is a notebook version of the ability to search for commercial data, order commercial data, and visualize commercial data. Obviously, in the future as well, all the APIs that you see being accessed via a notebook will be integrated into the resource catalog user interface that Dan shared earlier on today. And that also provides another mechanism for a user who is less familiar with notebooks to search for data and order commercial data. So there will be at least those two sort of core ways to get commercial data via the hub platform. But yeah, for this demo, we're focusing on a notebook. So yeah, I'll hand over to Alex Hayward, who's going to talk you through the various steps in a notebook that he's prepared. So yeah, over to you, Alex.
So this is the notebook interface running in the hub. First of all, I need to set up my notebook and load in an API token, which I've got previously from the user interface, as you saw earlier. And then install some packages, which I will need. And I can create a PyStack client, which is PyStack is a tool for working with stack catalogs from within Python. I can create one of these using my credentials and pointing at the hub's catalog, in this case, specifically at the planet catalog within the hub's catalog. Then I can search within that, so I can search for planet data as part of the main hub catalog. So I can search for lots of other data in here, but specifically here, I'm searching for planet. And I can get a list of results here. I got a set of stack items, and I'm printing out their URLs. So each of these, if I were to follow it, you would see the stack for one of planet's scenes. Once I've chosen a scene, I could choose a scene either through this programmatically, or I could do it through one of the user interfaces and get the URL. But once I've chosen one, I can then submit an order from within my notebook using the API. I need to put in my token and the URL to the scene that I want and the area that I want to clip that to within the scene, as well as any other options that I need for the order. If I submit this, it will submit an order to be processed. So if you don't get a response straight away, I get a response saying that the order has been submitted, and that can take up to 20 minutes to get that order. Once it's complete, there'll be a new catalog entry added into your Workspace's catalog. So you'll be able to see that in the Workspace user interface. So you see all your past orders there, and you'll be able to see the files inside your Workspace storage within the hub so that you can then use them within your notebook or with other EODH services. Because that takes a little time, I ordered one earlier. It's in my Workspace catalog, so I can get a stack client pointing at my Workspace catalog. I can then search for it by the identifier that it was assigned when the order completed. I can see the various parts of the stack item there, so it links to the assets that are inside that order, for instance, with several images, usable data mask, and so on. And I can use those results to get the URL from inside this catalog entry. Once I have that, if I want to, I can fetch that into my notebook, or I can actually go direct. If I wanted to go direct to this URL, I could download it onto my own computer. But here I've fetched it into the notebook. This is just showing the start of the file, it's showing it's a TIFF file. I can then use that in the notebook. So in here, I'm plotting it in a fairly simple, naive way. So it's not a particularly pretty plot, but we should see the data in a few moments. And if I want a somewhat better image, more pleasingly rendered image of this, I can use the T-tiler instance inside the hub, which gives OGC services access, OGC tiles API access to my data, and that will give me an image which that looks like this, that I can embed in my notebook as well. Moving on now to Airbus data, I can order Airbus SAR data in a very similar way. I can find that in the catalog in the same way that I did with the Planet data. I can use a user interface. I can use the stack catalog to search it programmatically. And then I do a very similar post with the stack item that I want and the order options that I want to order. And that will then be submitted to Airbus for processing. That'll then take some amount of time, and eventually it'll appear in my workspace. I will be charged directly by Airbus for submitting that order. So you would be paying Airbus directly through their contract, unless you have it free through the hub. There's also support within the EODH client, which was demonstrated earlier, which may make this ordering process directly for those people who don't want to use the raw API, where you can search for one of these items and then just call a function here to make your order. Airbus optical data is, again, it's very similar. I'm submitting essentially the same kind of request with a different URL. This time it's pointing to an entry for one of the Airbus optical scenes. And then for optical data from Airbus, I can also specify an area that I'm interested in so that I don't have to pay for the full scene, which is quite large. And if I submit that, again, I should see the response saying that the item's been ordered. And then in 20 minutes or however long it takes for the Airbus optical, I'll see that appear in my workspace so that I can use that. So that's the end of the demo of the commercial data ordering. So I will hand back to Alastair.
Yeah, thanks for that, Alex. So yeah, any questions on that, please pop them in the chat. We can make these notebooks are available on the EODH Git, so people can kind of use them as a template. So the only thing we would just stress is that whenever you order using a notebook service like that, you will be submitting real orders to Airbus and Planet. So it's just to make people aware that, yeah, please make sure that you're fully aware of the data that you're ordering and make sure that it's useful for your purposes. So yeah, it's just being careful to make sure the right product IDs have been selected, etc. And to kind of stress as well, these APIs will be integrated into the resource catalog UI as well, which will provide a much more sort of intuitive user interface for users to kind of use and see the different ordering options. But yeah, hopefully that gives you an idea of the sort of data ordering process within the hub that speaks directly to Airbus and Planet. And yeah, as I said, any questions, please put them in the chat and we'll do our best to answer those as quickly as possible. So yeah, I think that's the end of our demo on data ordering via a notebook, Alastair. So I think we'll hand back to you to carry on the notebook theme.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so if anyone has any questions about anything to do with the commercial data, then please do make sure you submit it either via the Slido link, which has handily appeared in the chat, or directly into the chat.